Greetings and welcome. My name is Michael Bogalski. I'm president of Moberly Area Economic Development Corporation, and I'll be your MC today. Special welcome to my board members that are here today. Good many of them. Thank you for coming. Today is a special day for Moberly and Randolph County. It has me feeling a little nostalgic about how far we've all come. I look back through my saved files and almost crashed my email server in the process of doing that, but I went all the way back to May 15th, 2019, and we received the original email about what was called Project Emerald. And this was an email from our great partners, the Missouri Partnership. And what a thrill and pleasure it's been since then. I counted them, 1,606 emails I had, countless phone calls, text messages, COVID-19, and yet we're all still here. Tribute to the perseverance and dedication of everyone who worked on this project. It's really difficult for me to describe the great privilege it is for me to stand here as the president of MAEDC with all of you. Our company dates back to 1988, and I've always felt like a caretaker of a much larger institution than myself. Our office proudly displays golden shovels on our wall in the boardroom of all of our projects, and it is an honor to add Swift Prepared Foods to our wall and to our community. So with that, I have the added honor of introducing our guest today. First up is a former chairman of MAEDC and the current mayor, Mr. Jerry Jeffrey.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's definitely a privilege to be here today. I know many of you, but for those that do not know me, I am a Moberly native. I was born and raised, graduated high school from Moberly Senior High. I went down the road to college, and after college started my business career in another part of Missouri. Was there about 11 years. About 26 years ago, I had the opportunity to move back to my hometown, to Moberly, and I did that. And over that time, I've had the privilege to serve with the Moberly Chamber of Commerce, the Moberly Economic Development. Been on the Moberly City Council now into the 7th year, and I've been the mayor going into the 4th term. I'd like to extend some special welcomes today. First of all, to JBS and Swift Prepared Foods, the Missouri Partnership, Ameren, Austin Consulting, and also a few special dignitaries, Missouri Governor Mike Parson, Missouri Senator Cindy O'Laughlin, Missouri State Representative Ed Lewis, Missouri State Representative Chuck Basie, and I believe we have a representative from Representative Hartzler's office. Thank you all for coming today. In May, exactly 50 years ago, our town was in a state of excitement and was very much abuzz about an event upcoming. And in May in 1971, the town and the event that they were excited about was the return of Moberly hometown hero, 5-star General Omar M. Bradley. And the reason Omar M. Bradley was coming back to Moberly was to be the keynote speaker at the Moberly Chamber of Commerce annual banquet. Because my father was serving his term as the president of Moberly Chamber of Commerce, I had the opportunity to meet General Bradley, and it had a very big impact on my pride for Moberly, my hometown then and going forward, and also impacted me as far as thinking about what I could do and what I wanted to do when I grew up. Today we're here then, and our community has been excited about the opening of this facility and much a buzz about what was going on out here. And so I'd like to say on behalf of the city that we are very thankful for the investment that Swift Prepared Foods has made here, and a great business investment, and here to celebrate the beginning of that business, but not only a business, but also a good community partner. They've already been evidence of that with their interest in our parks and recreation of our community. So I want to express my thanks and congratulations to them on what's become today. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Moberly Area Economic Development. Without their role in this whole project, it would definitely not have happened. And so specifically, Mr. Mr. Michael Bogalski and Randy Asbury and their staff. And then I think there's several of their board here today, and I want to thank them for being here. I'd like to thank the city of Moberly and the staff and department heads, Mr. Sanders and Ms. Calcagno, and of course the city manager, Mr. Brian Crane, and their role in this project. And of course the Moberly City Council had their role to play in this. So my fellow councilmen that are here today, Mr. John Kimmons, Mr. Cole Davis, Mr. Austin Kaiser, and Councilman Tim Brubaker was not able to make it here today. We also have a very active and great participation from the county of Randolph. So I'd like to thank Presiding Commissioner Truesdale for being here today, and also recognize Commissioner Hobbs and Commissioner Tracy for their involvement and them being active in our economic development. We also have a lot of great businesses already here in Moberly, and we are thankful for them. And one of the things that allows us to have an economic development that it has the tools and resources to work on projects like this, of course they were successful, is the fact that the other businesses we have do support that, as well as government entities. So I would like to thank those existing businesses and thank them for their resources that they share in order for us to have a great economic development. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the Mark Twain Regional Council of Government and Cindy Holt. They played a role in all of this project and working on some of the different grants and paperwork there. Last but not least, I know there's people here that I've forgotten that had a part in this, so I'd just like to say in closing, thank you to everyone that's had a role and had a part in making this project come about, and also thank you all very much for being here today. Thank you much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I would like to welcome Tom Lopez, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Swift Prepared Foods.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. I am both grateful and excited to be here today to share this opportunity to open this facility here in Moberly with all of you. If you go into our building, you'll be greeted by a collage of Swift Prepared Foods that has the words "building something great." And I was talking to Michael earlier, and where's Kylie? We were here in November of 2019, and this was nothing but a rolling grass field with a big mountain of dirt in the middle of it. And now look at it. We are truly building something great here at Moberly, and I'm truly happy to celebrate that with all of you. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Mayor. Other distinguished guests. Thank you to my boss, Andre Nagira, the CEO of JBS, who's here with us today. This is a great event, and I look forward to sharing it today. Some of you may not know Swift Prepared Foods. We are a consumer packaged goods company that focuses on protein-centric food solutions like bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? Like lunch meat, like ribs, and other innovative prepared food solutions. So this is what we do. Here in Moberly, we'll be making ready-to-eat bacon, and that will be distributed across consumers and customers across the country, and who knows, maybe even globally as well. This is our 6th facility here in the United States, and we are really looking forward to being a part of the Moberly community. Mr. Mayor, as you mentioned, you probably know it's not just the Moberly community, it's really the state of Missouri. About 3 weeks ago, we also announced that we're building a state-of-the-art Italian meats facility in Columbia, Missouri. So we're proud to be a part of Moberly. We're proud to be a part of the state of Missouri, and we really look forward to growing our business together with all of you. So again, thank you so much for coming. This is going to be a great day and a great opening of what will be a terrific facility here in the state of Missouri. So with that, let me go ahead and introduce the guy who makes it all happen, which is the plant manager of the facility, Travis Miller.
Thank you, everybody. It is a great day to be here. We're very excited to have each and every one of you here, and the governor here as well. It's finally starting to come true with the plant nearing its completion. We've already invested quite a little bit into the community with our Hometown Strong initiative. We invested $300,000 into this community with some upgrades to Rothwell Park, Tannehill Park, and also to the YMCA to get more people excited, especially our team members here in the plant, excited about coming and working out at the YMCA and investing back into the community. So once again, thank you all for coming here today. We look forward to having you. My main goal as being the plant manager of this plant is to really make for sure that we're a good partner in the community, a good neighbor in the community. My door is always open. If there's any issues or any concerns with the city or a neighbor or what have you, we'll certainly get those addressed, and we want to be a good partner for many years to come. So thank you all for being here. And with that, I'd like to present the governor with a pullover.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Tom and Travis. With that, I have the good privilege of introducing Governor Parson. Governor Parson was sworn in as Missouri's 57th governor with over 30 years of experience in public service and a strong commitment to serving others. After serving 6 years in the United States Army, Governor Parson served more than 22 years in law enforcement as the sheriff of Polk County. Governor Parson was elected to the Missouri House of Representatives, the Missouri Senate, and as Lieutenant Governor before becoming Missouri's 57th governor. Governor Parson and First Lady Teresa live in their hometown of Bolivar. He is a small business owner and a third-generation farmer who currently owns and operates a cow and calf operation. Please join me in welcoming our governor, Mike Parson.
Thank you very much. Man, it's great to be here in Moberly. Great to see a lot of people sitting out there together. It's also a good thing to be safe. Andre, thank you for what you're doing for our state, for what you're doing for this community and your team. Tom, Travis, thank you very much. I don't know if they want me to publicly say this or not, but if they ask me to the event, you're going to tell them what the governor will say. But I was talking to him before I come out here, and we was talking about some of the things the company does, and you could really see it as I see the employees standing back here. I think this is kind of what employers should be doing anymore, and putting their employees first and making sure they're taken care of. And one of the things that Andre had told me back there, that they now have a program if you're an employee that's been here for so many months, that they will then take an education to one of your family members or them themselves to go to community college and stuff. So that is a win-win for your local community also. And when you're talking about a $68 million investment, that's a pretty good size investment with 200 people. That's in addition to what they've already done. So when that happens, it's a big deal. I do want to recognize, I know they were introduced, but I'm going to put them more on the spot because I'm going to ask them to stand up. When I first became governor, I said that there was two things I thought we could do in this state to truly change the needle. And when I say change the needle, that means make a difference in people's lives. People that work here, make a difference in their lives. But the two things you had to have workforce development and you had to have infrastructure. If you can get those two things right, and we give people an opportunity to train, to skill up, to go into a workforce of tomorrow, and we get the community colleges and the high schools and the universities to all buy into that formula, you would see success stories across this state. So that wasn't possible if the legislators hadn't seen that vision that I had over 3 years ago, previous to the pandemic. But I know the senators here, I know some representatives, if I'm missing anybody else, would you just please stand up for just a second? You were all part of making this happen. So thank you. Now, why do I bring that up? Are those two things important? And I know today is Swift Foods Day, and I'm going to tie them into this as I go through this. But when we first started that 3 years ago, nobody knew 15 months ago we were going to be going through a pandemic and a crisis. And how do you continue to move forward in the middle of that? Swift figured out how to do it. Keep people at work, kept the businesses going, expanded during that time. When you think about that, when all the other things we had on our mind was how are we going to get through this, how are we going to get through it? Business had to go on, workers had to make a living, people had to be fed, and exactly what this company is. But while all that's happened in the last 15 minutes has been the news, let me tell you the things you probably won't see and hear much about in the news. But I want to share these things. The state of Missouri, why these things are important, why it's important for these CEOs, these companies to come here. We are in the top tier of the United States for economic recovery in Missouri. We have a 4.1 unemployment rate in our state today. We are first in the United States of America for small business wage growth, which means we are paying a decent wage. We are second in the United States for apprenticeships, fourth in the United States for new manufacturing facilities, seventh in the United States for migration, people wanting to move to Missouri. We are 10th in the United States for new business expansions, why we're here today. We are 11th in the United States because people are looking at the state of Missouri to relocate their businesses or to expand businesses. And we are sitting here today with living proof. All of that, all those things I just read to you, happened last year. Not to mention Accenture Federal Services in St. Louis, 1,400 new jobs. Chewy Pet Food in Belton, Missouri, 1,200 new jobs. Amazon and Republic, 500 new jobs. Kawasaki in Maryville, new expansion. Tyler Pipe Company in Marshfield. Burns and McDonnell in Kansas City. Boeing in St. Charles. Ford Motor Company in Claycomo. Over $1 billion were invested in this state over the last year. While we were dealing with other things in government, this is what the private sector was doing. Over 10,000 new jobs were created. Not ones we got back, 10,000 new ones. I tell you, people come in, this year's off to a crazy start too. Let me just run this down to you. I'll give you more good news. I'm gonna give you lots of good news because you're all here sitting together. I don't get to see people. I'm not quite used to it, so I got a bunch of good news I've been holding back all this time. But let's just go into 2021. Casey General Store in Joplin, Missouri, $62 billion distribution center, 125 new jobs. John Deere Reman, $7.2 million. Springfield, Missouri, 132 jobs. Karsten Construction Materials, $62 million investment, 100 new jobs in Sikeston. Swift Prepared Foods, $200 million right here that we started out with, 251 new jobs in Columbia and here in Moberly. Cereal Ingredients, $24 million investment, 60 new jobs. Missouri Prime Beef Packers, $10 million. And I can go on, and I would love to go on, but I need to be talking about Swift today and why we're here in Moberly. All the things I just said to you is why Missouri is on the right track and why it's important to make sure these companies come here. For the mayor, for economic development, for the teams that understand this, it's great to have a new building, fancy building, permanent structure here in your communities. But I'll tell you the main reason, as I talk to CEOs and businessmen across the United States, and frankly even in other countries since I've been governor. One, they want to know about your workforce. Are you prepared if we bring our business here? Are you prepared for our employees when they come here, and do you give them the opportunity to get trained up if we need to train them? Number one. The main thing that they will ask you, and you need to remember this, what is the community like that we're going to put our company in? Do they want us there? Is there opportunity for their families and for their kids to grow up in these communities? And if they're going to put a business here, they want a reputable name behind that business, that they are good partners with the communities. I think that is exactly why Swift Food is here today, right here in Moberly, why they're doing the businesses they're doing, because they get the importance of our values here in this state. And I tell you, and I'm totally prejudiced when I say this, Missouri work ethic is one of the best in the United States of America. I just read off to you top 10, top 10, top 10. It's because of people like everybody that's here. It's because of them guys and gals wearing their shirts over there and say Swift on them. Hard-working Missourians, we can handle about anything you can throw at us, and at the end of the day, we'll expand our businesses, we'll expand our workforce, and Missouri will be on the right track. It is an honor and privilege to be here in Moberly today, in your hometown, celebrating a new expansion of 68 million. In addition to that, to 200 more employees here, and it's an honor and privilege to be the governor of the 57th governor of the great state of Missouri. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
Don't put me in front, guys. What are we doing? Okay, we ready? Alright. You ready?